And talk about this. There's a very epic situation going on. It's the draft, the 2024 NFL draft in one of the largest metropolitan cities in the United States, and that is Detroit. So we're going to use this as an example to motivate you and help you become a safe driver. Many of you live in areas around the world where there are large numbers of pedestrians walking around, walking in front of you. So let's go ahead and get it. Pedestrians need to use the designated area, and that is the crosswalk. But unfortunately, pedestrians don't pay attention. They are the most vulnerable road users. So what does this mean? Pedestrians have the right of way. They need to walk in marked and unmarked crosswalks. Crosswalks can be marked with the two thin lines, and they can be unmarked. So if this is new to you, you better be listening right now. However, during the NFL draft, there's going to be an influx of people from around the world. Most of them know the rules, and it is essential to exercise caution when you're dealing with pedestrians who are intoxicated, excited to meet their number one draft choice, and overall the ambiance of being in the Motor City. So we got to be careful as drivers and really cover our brake, look around, and not to get overstimulated. Next, there are four-way stops. Many drivers are very confused by this, so I'm going to help you walk through this process. The vehicle arrives at the four-way stop first. That vehicle has the right of way. However, if in chaos in a downtown area, particularly downtown Detroit, downtown Los Angeles, downtown Chicago, some of the rules don't always apply. What does this mean? During an NFL draft or in a concert, or there's a celebrity sighting, people lose common sense and they don't start paying attention to the rules. So as a driver, you have to be very vigilant to be careful and be patient regardless of all the chaos. The rules still apply. The judge does not want to hear, well, Judge, the NFL draft in Detroit was going on. Well, Judge, Big Sean was walking across the street. Well, Judge, I saw Eminem. They don't care about that. They may like those artists, but you still have to follow the rules. Rotaries and roundabouts. Vehicles inside the roundabout typically have the right of way. But with the increase in foot traffic, you're going to have people walking inside the rotary, inside the roundabout, seeing cars, and still walking out in front. So what does this mean to us as a beginning driver? We have to exercise extreme caution and extreme patience to be aware of such an influx of over 275,000 people. And I need to remind you, they shut down downtown Detroit because there were over 275,000 rabid fans wanting to see the NFL draft. This brings great economic activity to Detroit, to Michigan, and around the world because the draft happens every single year. And the NFL is a global brand. So what does this mean? They're going to be going all around the world. And this same chaos will continue and people will forget the rules. But I'm here to remind you of the rules and to help you. Let's talk about emergency vehicles. People will have heat stroke. People will have panic attacks. People will have heart attacks. Emergency vehicles still have to circumvent or navigate traffic. What does this mean if an emergency vehicle comes? Vehicles must share the road with those emergency vehicles. Typically, you need to be pulling over to the right side of the road if possible and allow that emergency vehicle to clear an immediate path so that person can get the proper medical care they need. If you want to fail, a great way to fail is not to pull over when an emergency vehicle comes. All instructors mandate that, and I'm a good instructor, and I'm going to mandate you pull over to the side if possible if an emergency vehicle comes. Next, let's talk about exiting driveways. People are doing three-point turnarounds. You never thought you need to do that three-point turnaround, but if a road is closed or there are hundreds and thousands of people down there, you will have to do a three-point turnaround. Vehicles exiting the driveway must yield to pedestrians. I've been there before. You pull into a driveway, you pause. Man, there's so many people here. My car's overheating. I'm hungry. I have to use the bathroom. I'm still trying to find a parking spot. My number one draft pick, it hasn't been called yet. That's pressure, but you've got to stay composed and put that car in reverse. You got to look to the left. You got to look to the right. You have to look around you. And what's frustrating, you're going to see people look at your brake lights and backup lights, and they're still going to walk in behind you. You have to be aware of going on. I'm in the United States, baby. I'm in the Midwest. Where are you from, my brother? I'm representing all because I have family members all over the world. I have an uncle that lives in Amsterdam, right? I have an uncle that lives in Toronto. So where are you from? And thank you, uncle and aunt, for inviting your nephew there. So driving is global, and people have to follow the rules. Toronto is another great destination, and guess what? Drake is from Toronto, right? If he is, give it a thumbs up. So when you're backing out of those driveways, you got to be extra careful, and you have to be aware because you could miss a pedestrian, and then you're going to run over someone, right? Let's keep it going. The rule becomes even more critical when there are large events, such as the NFL draft, right? And they have rabid fans in the UK, in Europe, but their football is soccer. Our football is a football that you run and you fight for, and people are fighting to get that number one draft spot. And it's great economic business because it fuels the development of communities. This is why I'm trying to get you guys to learn how to drive. I'm trying to get you guys to look through these videos and leave more comments. So the rule is when you're backing up, cover the brake. Take your time because big events such as concerts and the NFL draft, pedestrians tend to forget. And Detroit is probably at capacity now because 2 hours early is not enough. Those of you who live around the world, you check it. They're probably going to be shutting the event down earlier than 7 p.m. Bicyclists in Amsterdam, in New York, in Detroit, in Houston, Texas, Los Angeles, California, the next mode is on a bicycle. They have to follow the rules too. If you're riding a bike, you need to go with the flow of the traffic. Bicyclists on the road generally have the same rights and responsibilities as vehicles. However, during the NFL draft, more cautions and due diligence needs to be aware so you can be safe. Give them extra space and consideration. A lot of people will order food. This is a great business opportunity for people who ride bikes. They're trying to hustle and get that money. We don't want to hit anyone on a bike and then get arrested. Let's talk about merging traffic. This is a panic point thank you for the love. This is a panic point for a lot of people, including your instructor, because you think you can merge out and a truck comes in. You think you can merge out and people walk in front of you. I don't think a lot of you understand because you haven't been to big cities. It's very overwhelming. I'm from the Motor City, and I'm very proud of that fact. Eminem is from the Motor City. Big Sean is from the Motor City. You have that grit. It's Detroit versus everyone, baby, right? But with that comes responsibility. With that comes pride. With that comes really obeying the law and applying these concepts to wherever you go in the world. Because if you're from Detroit and you can survive there, you can survive anywhere in the world. Where are all of you from? Type it in right now. So merging traffic, vehicles should have alternative routes when merging in traffic. Maybe you have to merge in from the middle. You might have to merge in from the right or the far left. They will have cones set up to allow you to adjust. They may have a closure where you will gradually see cones and you're going to merge all this traffic to the left to loop them on a one way. In many downtown areas, they are one ways. So you need to learn to read signs. You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to have cars. You're going to have buses. You're going to have trucks. You're going to have pedestrians. And Eminem he's giving a free concert. Big Sean was on stage yesterday, right? Because they put on for the city. Do you have people you put on for and you love and care about? We support. Next, school zone. School is still going on, baby. And 2 to 5 p.m. is the most dangerous time. Many of you are in school, community college, working right now. Use extra caution. Slow down. Parking lots are dangerous. Your favorite instructor's walking out. Your principal, your teacher. Slow down. Vehicles must yield to pedestrians. They're going to walk in front of you. They're going to look at you and still walk in front of you. You're going to pull up slowly and they're going to look at you. Do you think they have bumpers on their butt? No, they don't. But they're going to walk in front of you. You have to obey and reduce speed limits in school zones. Even if schools are not in session during the NFL draft, there's a high number of pedestrians who want to touch those jerseys, who want to contact and reach out to Eminem and Big Sean. It's really a beautiful spectacular, and it represents the epic of society. But you still have to have common sense. What an experience to be there, but you still have to stop for that yellow light. You still have to yield for pedestrians. A truck is coming. They're bigger than you. Get over. Okay, allow bigger traffic to go. Blind spot intersections. I want to talk to you about this 1 second. More collisions happen at intersections. Are you guys listening to me? Pay extra care and attention. If you have a green light, the pedestrian's still walking. You have a red light, the pedestrian's still walking. You have a yellow light, the pedestrian's still walking. You have to be a defensive driver. People forget and they get excited. They're full of alcohol. They're thinking about Eminem. They're thinking about Big Sean. They're thinking about these celebrities who they haven't seen, and they're trying to get down there. It's really important to be aware of the situations and just practice patience. You will panic. Your hands will sweat. I've seen it before. I had students, their hands start sweating. I tell them to wipe them off in their pants because there's the psychological aspect. I talk about those psychological aspects. You got to have that window down. To be in the city, you hear cars, you hear sirens, you hear people, you smell food, you smell a lot of different smells. Those smells are not in the suburbs. Those smells are not in the rural areas. And it's a matter of pride. But also with pride comes a lot of power and respect. So blind spots at intersections with limited visibility, it's essential that you slow down and cautiously yield to any and all oncoming traffic and pedestrians. From Russia, baby, that's what's up. Okay, Siberia, that is what's up. Real talk, I'm keeping it real. I want you to be safe if you go to downtown Detroit for the draft, downtown Chicago, Houston, Texas, Los Angeles, California. You're going to Moscow. You're going to Amsterdam because my uncle lives there. All these areas have thousands of pedestrians. Slow your roll. We're not trying to kill anyone. Pedestrians have the right of way, and however, during the draft, large crowds and pedestrians might not always adhere to strict signals. So the driver should be on alert. You've got to pep up your skill set. All those things I taught you in class when you're tired, I remember what driving with Myles said. My light's green and they're still walking. My light just turned red and they're still walking. It might take you 10 minutes to make a right turn. It might take you 15 minutes to go 1 mile. Many of you have not experienced that yet, and they're not in the driver's education books because they are old. They need to be updated. Let's talk about railroad crossings. You must yield for trains. Trains always have the right of way. I need you to understand this. During the NFL draft, where temporary closures and reroutes might occur, be aware of alternate traffic patterns. They might reroute you on an outside loop to the city using Google Maps. And each municipality, they have traffic experts to try to get hundreds and thousands of people in. There were 275,000. They were probably over 310,000, but we're not saying anything. If you look back at the video, you'll be able to see it. They are large numbers of people, and the capacity may be there today. So you have to take a breath back. Pedestrians ride away on sidewalks. Pedestrians on sidewalks have the right of way, and drivers should yield to them in huge crowded events like the NFL draft where sidewalks may be congested. How can a sidewalk hold capacity of 50,000? It can't. You're going to have people walking the sidewalk, people walking on the grass, people walking on the curb, people walking on the side of the street. I've been to New York before. It's crazy. I've been to Chicago before. Crazy. I've been to downtown Detroit before. Crazy. I've been to Houston, Texas before. I've been to LA when I saw Mr. Beast. It's crazy. Stay on the sidewalk. If you get on the side of the road, you could be clipped and hit. Yield for public transportation. There are buses coming in. Eminem is coming in on the bus. Big Sean is coming in on the bus. You have NFL players coming in on the bus. You have former NFL players coming in on the bus. Yield for them. Catch your breath. I know you're getting excited because I am too, right? So pedestrians have the right of way. Parking lots are going to be very congested. And parking, let me tell you, parking was $100. They were scalping and overcharging people. And if you see that, you need to call the authorities. They're going to up the prices $40, $50, $75 because it's entrepreneurship. Your teacher taught you about that. It's economic development. But when does the price outweigh the good of the general public? Water's going to be costing $6 to $10. So if you've never been to a global event, I'm talking to a lot of you who are in Europe. Soccer is huge. United States football is huge. The NBA is huge. The NFL is huge. You will pay those extra prices because you want to see your fan. You want to see the person who's going to score that touchdown or turn your city around, right? Crossing guards. You're going to have police getting traffic in, getting traffic out. You're going to have officers, the mounted division. Ted Montgomery, I'm shouting you out. Former officer of DPS. He was on the mounted division. He will be on that 1,200-pound horse doing crowd control, right? And if you hit that horse, you're going to be arrested. Let me tell you, they got the state police, the FBI. Shh. I'm not telling y'all the law enforcement. This is serious, bro. Don't play, right? So you're going to have police getting traffic in, getting traffic out. If you act out of pocket, and you know what I'm saying, if you act a fool, they're going to put you up in the headlight, baby. They're going to lock you up and take you to the holding area because you get 3 or 4 pops in you, you're going to be wild. So you have to act like a citizen. Just because you're in Detroit or in Texas or in Birmingham or wherever you are, you still have to follow the rules. So you must obey, drivers must obey, crossing guards, police officials, right? They must obey the instructions. When they tell you to stop, you got to stop. I'm still talking to you because we're going to be going down to Detroit in a minute. I flew in, right? So the NFL draft generates tremendous amounts of income. But also, you're going to see people talk about the negative of the city because people love talking about negative things, right? Yield for pedestrians on islands. A lot of pedestrians will get caught when that light turns green. You're going to see 50 to 100 people stuck on an island in the middle of the street. Some of them will run out foolishly and almost get hit. Some of them will wait. What do you do if that was me and you? We're going to cover our brake and we're going to make eye contact. Look at me. We're going to make eye contact. Make eye contact with pedestrians so they know what you're doing. Always make good decisions. Beginning drivers do traffic light driving. In draft areas, New York, Los Angeles, Detroit, you've got to take a step back. You're going to be overwhelmed. You will have a panic attack. And I need you to slow down and remember the rules that I am talking about for you to be successful. Continue learning. If this brought you value, look at all my videos. If you really like what you're seeing, subscribe to the channel because I'm going live every day, baby. I'll go live at 7:30, and we're going to talk more about what's happening on the draft, how you navigate through that. I love you all, and thank you. Bye.